has been such a long time since I've made a YouTube video, and part of my goal today is just to kind of update you guys on my life, what has been happening the past year, basically almost a year since I've posted my first YouTube video, which is crazy to think that a year can go by that fast. But I just figured that now that my life is slowing down a little bit, things were very hectic there for a while. And I feel like if I explain it to you now, you're still probably going to think, oh my gosh, your life is still hectic. And it is. But I felt like I was in the trenches for a really long time. And now I finally kind of see the light at the end of the tunnel, for lack of better term. Yeah, I'm just glad to be back. So today I made my coffee and I figured we'd have a little coffee chat, going through what the heck has been going on in my life and why I haven't really posted much on here until now. So let's get down to it. All right. So the last time I posted, I think it was in February, I had just gotten back from my trip with my best friend Jordan, her mom, and her really good friend. We had the absolute best time. Little did I know, on that trip, I was pregnant. So, if you don't know much about me, and I hope that we can continue doing these kinds of videos and I can continue making some really awesome friends and build some relationships through this platform. But if you don't know anything about me, if you don't follow me on Instagram or anything, or are friends with me in real life, I have an 11, oh my gosh, yeah, she's 11, but she's turning 12-year-old daughter, Lily. And I have a 10-year-old son, Jonah. And when I say we, my husband, David, and I got to a point where the kids were old enough, but I had it like in my heart that I really, really wanted to have a third baby. So after like much back and forth, my husband wasn't really too keen on the idea. He was just happy with two, but I just like felt in my heart that I wanted a third baby. So after much debate, I guess, I don't know, I feel like debate isn't the right word, but it was a lot of back and forth between David and I. And we finally kind of got to the point where we were both on the same page and we both wanted to try for a third. I want to say that was probably around, before COVID. I feel like we all use that kind of like point in our life, pre or post COVID these days, but I think it was before COVID. I really have to kind of look back at it. I try not to because it brings back some pretty heavy memories, but I remember going to Montana with my family, and that was right around the time where we were really trying to have another baby. And I remember in Montana, I was late. And I don't know about anyone else, girls especially, right? Where, when we travel, or at least for me specifically, when I travel, I guess my menstrual cycle can fluctuate. And so I just didn't think about that at the time. I was just really hopeful. I was super excited about the idea of having another baby. But I was late in Montana, and I remember going to Target with my kids and my husband and just being so hopeful because I felt like I was experiencing some early pregnancy symptoms, just kind of getting a little hungry and dealing with a little bit of nausea. But I was not pregnant. And so basically for years, we tried for a third baby and were not successful. And in December of 2025, we adopted, again, after years of trying. I felt, again, kind of okay, God, what do you want me to do? If adoption is kind of the way that we have and expand our family, then just kind of open those doors. So we adopted our daughter, Ellie. It was so fast. We were on the waiting list. We were on waiting to go active. So we had our home studies. We did everything we can do. And we were waiting for like a year with our specific agency before we went active. And then when we went active, we posted, I think on Thanksgiving, that we were wanting to adopt. And it was on December the 8th where our daughter Ellie was born. And I don't want to get into too many specifics because I feel like a lot of that is private, especially with Ellie's birth mother, who we love and adore. Some things I just kind of want to keep a little bit more private. But with Ellie being born on December 8th, it was a whirlwind. We weren't expecting it. We didn't have a room ready. We didn't have anything. But my work was very receptive, very supportive. We were able to contact a lawyer, get everything going. And we ended up getting custody of Ellison December the 13th. So between the 8th and the 13th, I felt like that was like the most stressful time of my life, trying to get everything ready and prepared, and the finances. Like, we were ready to adopt financially, and that's why we proceeded with adoption. However, it was Christmas time. David was out of work for a little bit. So it was just truly a whirlwind. And again, throughout this whole time, we were just praying and really seeking guidance of our family and friends to kind of shed light and experience and just advice on what we should do. And again, the doors opened up and we have Ellison. And so with all of that to say, Ellie was born on December the 8th. We had custody of her December the 13th. And I remember going on my trip with my friend Jordan and her mom and friend in February. And I hadn't gotten my period at that point, but I literally, I'm telling you, I kind of got to the point where I was not taking tests. I wasn't hopeful. I wasn't excited. I was truly okay with having 3. And, with God giving us a 3rd baby, I truly was content. I even had conversations with David about him getting a vasectomy because, I was like, okay, we have 3, okay, sorry. I got a phone call and I really had to answer that. So, basically, we adopted Ellison, and in February, I remember going on a Disney trip with my best friend Jordan and her mom and good friend. And I remember at this point, not taking any tests, not even thinking I could get pregnant after years of kind of struggling with secondary infertility. I just did not think it was ever a thing. And part of my defense mechanism was just thinking it wasn't going to happen and just truly being okay with that. After, a lot of thoughts and prayers and just truly kind of putting myself in that mental capacity of being like, you know what, I'm okay. We just adopted Ellie. I was having conversations with David about getting a vasectomy. We were totally and 100% content. And I remember just going through Disney, I was riding roller coasters. I was, having cocktails, very much in moderation because I'm not someone that goes excessive on those things anyways. But I was just living my life. And I remember my friend Jordan kind of asking me that trip, have you got your period yet? I was like, no, definitely not. Just again, thinking it wasn't even a thing, wasn't even going to be a possibility that would happen to me. And so I got back from Disney again in February, and my daughter had a soccer tournament, and it was around her birthday. So this was mid-February of 2025. And Jordan and her daughter Addie came to support Lily because it was around her birthday. And I remember Jordan asking me have you got your period yet? And I was like, no, I haven't got my period yet. But that trip, I will say, I was feeling so sick. I didn't vocalize that to anybody. The only symptom I vocalized to my husband was just like I had to pee all the time. And David was very forthcoming and was just like, you're pregnant, you're pregnant, you're pregnant. I'm like, there is no way that I'm pregnant. And I almost kind of viewed it as a joke. And quite honestly, I was just like, well, I don't know why I'm peeing all this much, but there's just no way that I'm pregnant. So we got back from that soccer trip and I took a test because I had an extra one. I was like, okay, just to silence all the noise. I haven't taken a test in so long, again, because they're very triggering for me. I feel like people who've gone through infertility know that just a negative after negative after negative result really like weighs on you. But I had an extra test. And so I was just like, you know what? I'm just going to kind of cut off all the noise. My husband keeps saying I'm pregnant and I definitely don't think I am, but I'm just going to take a test. And I was brave enough to do that. It came back negative. And again, kind of that disappointment hit me, but I didn't let it affect me mentally like it had in the past, where I would just like be super down and depressed for like a day or two to process everything. Like I just kind of let it like roll off my shoulders a little bit. Then several days kind of after that, I still hadn't gotten my period. I was still peeing a lot. I started getting super like nauseous and then hungry at points. And I was like, what is going on with me? If this is like truly like a period symptom, like I've never like had this kind of like, symptom before, a period before. And so I just kind of let it ride. And then on my daughter's birthday, which was February the 17th, 2025. She was opening presents in the morning and she told me like, Mommy, like I know what I want for my birthday, like just something else that you can give me. And I was like, what? And she was like, take another pregnancy test. And I was like, Lily, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. I already took one. It came back negative. And she's like, just do it again. Just do it again. I think she was just like super excited and hopeful that maybe it would happen for me. So while she was opening up presents with my mom, I really had to go to the bathroom. My mom was on FaceTime and David was here on the couch holding Ellie. Jonah was there. We were all just kind of like celebrating Lily's birthday and her opening up her presents before David had to go to work. So while she's on FaceTime with my mom, I just sneak out to the bathroom and I take a test. And it was positive. And I just remember being like, jaw to the floor, so shocked, truly like no words. I just was in a complete daze. And I came out of the bathroom and Lily was still on FaceTime with my mom. And I somehow got the courage and found the words. And I basically said to Lily, like, I have another present for you. And she's like, what? And I handed her the test. And I can post the video and maybe do a screenshot of her reaction because it's super sweet. But the look on my daughter's face was like the same that I had when I first saw it in the bathroom. And my mom was on FaceTime and my mom was so shocked. And David was like, I'm moving to Canada. He's like, I don't know how we're going to deal with having, 4 kids, 2 under like 1 essentially. And so that's kind of when everything just kind of got super, super crazy. At that point, our adoption with Ellison wasn't even finalized. We were still going through the legal things and the waiting period with Florida and all of the things. And, being pregnant, I didn't want, to jeopardize the adoption in any way. There was just so many different things. And I am not a graceful or, for lack of a better term, attractive pregnant person. When I get pregnant, like, I don't feel well. This pregnancy, I expanded so quickly. I think moms who've had multiple kids will know, like, will be able to say, like, after every pregnancy, you show so much quicker and faster. And I expanded at an alarming rate. Granted, all of that to say is, I was very uncomfortable my whole pregnancy. And it was something that I was struggling with because I wanted to truly like embrace every moment because I knew this was like my last baby. I was, cutting my tubes or tying my tubes or whatever. Like I knew that 4 was definitely enough for us. And so I was trying my best to enjoy the pregnancy, but also I was miserable. It was really, really hard on my body. Needless to say, now it's January the 26th. My son, Bo Alexander Wilson, was born October the 20th. He is just over 3 months old now, but he was born at a whopping 10 pounds, 8 ounces, I believe. Absolutely insane. He was huge. And I have big babies, but obviously he was the biggest, and that's why I was in so much pain. So when he kind of came into the world, it was utter chaos and mayhem, but in the best way. So he definitely completed our family. But and just truly embracing, maternity leave, which my job gives me 3 months. I'm so thankful for that because when I was teaching full time, I didn't have maternity leave. And God bless all the teachers out there who start families. But not having maternity leave or paid maternity leave is insane. So having a job now where I have paid maternity leave is such a blessing. And I literally just took those 3 months to get to know Bo and to snuggle with him and to just embrace all the cuddles because I knew that, he's going to be like my last baby. So anyways, that is the Bo and Ellie update. Okay. So as far as travel for this year, we went to Asheville and had the absolute best time. I plan on going to Disney in early February. It was going to be me and my friend Jordan again, but she had something come up. And so I'm just using this as an opportunity to kind of refill my cup for the next several months because I know I have this trip in February, but after that, I don't have like anything going on. And so I really want to use this trip in February as a trip to recharge, regroup, especially going into the new year and just have the absolute best time. I'm not having anyone with me. I might meet with a couple of my friends there just to say hi who are traveling around the same time. And so I'm super excited about that. But other than that, I'm really just utilizing this trip as a time to do what I want. And I don't know how many of you guys have been to Disney before, but sometimes when you're traveling with other people, like, and depending on who you're with, most recently we went to Disney with my sister-in-law, her husband, and my nephew. David came, the kids came. It was so busy, so chaotic that when you're with a lot of people, you just kind of have to, manipulate your schedule. Not in a bad way. I love experiencing the parks with my family. And I think even my friends, it's so much fun being with other people, but I haven't done Disney by myself in such a long time. So I'm really gonna just utilize this time to eat what I want, ride when I want, go shopping when I want, just kind of like sit and people watch and just truly enjoy every single minute of my time by myself. I don't know. I was really just kind of like not excited about it at first, but the more and more I think about it, I'm like really pumped for this trip because I think it's going to be really great for me and again, just like my mental health. Like Disney trip, February by yourself, sign me up. But yeah, so outside of that, I don't think I have anything else on the books as far as travel until this summer. I travel with my work. I work for EF Tours. I travel for work at least once to 3 times a year. 2 domestic trips to Boston where our headquarters is, and then 1 international trip a year. So this summer, I have no idea where I'm going. but I'm super excited. That'll probably be in June. I submitted for an Asian itinerary, but again, I have no idea where I'm going to go. And that kind of like is exciting all in itself as well. So between February and June, I don't have anything going on. And then we have a family trip in September. We're going to go on a Royal Caribbean cruise with David's sister, my brother-in-law, and my nephew, our whole side of the family. And my mom is coming too, which I'm really excited. We're paying for her just to kind of have fun and be an extra helping hand with the kids. But we're celebrating David's 40th birthday, which is absolutely insane. Again, I feel like we're in our 20s. And so the fact that we're celebrating his 40th birthday is so cool. But at the same time, very, very weird and strange to think that my husband is turning 40 and I'm almost there, which we don't have to talk about. But super excited about that trip in September. And then Bo turns 1 in October. Ellie will turn 2 in December. And our big thing that I have set to plan this year, and maybe I can take you through the process. I am a travel planner. I plan our own travel. I plan trips for clients and I help my friends with their trips. I can take you through the process, but we are going as a family of 6 to Japan. Call me crazy, but I'm super excited and pumped about that. But it is a lot of planning, a lot of navigating. And so I'm starting that process now, believe it or not. It's never too early to kind of plan a trip like that, especially when you have such a big family. So in the background of, this year, I am going to be spending a lot of time planning our family trip to Japan. And if all goes according to plan, we're going to be in Japan for my daughter's 13th birthday, which she's so excited about. She's not excited about the culture or the food. She just is there for the shopping. And I can't blame the girl, that she is my daughter. She loves to shop. But part of the whole goal of this is we haven't traveled as a family in quite some time. We went to Italy, not this past summer, but the summer before. And that was so cool. We went to Spain and Italy. They had the best time. We had the best time. David and I both really want to give our kids a cultural perspective outside of just our small town. And just kind of give them the opportunities and bless them with that because I wish I had that as a kid. But anyway, we are so excited to be going to Japan probably in February of 2027. So that is our goal. And that's our travel plans for the year. Something might kind of pop up here and there, but as of now, that's what we have planned. I love a spontaneous trip. So I'm never going to say no to that, but I really want to take this year to just kind of chill out, embrace and enjoy every minute I have to spend with my family and enjoy the newborn snuggles and, all of that jazz. And so, yeah, super pumped about all of that. So all in all, we have the Bo and Ellie update, kind of, I don't know, not out of the way. Again, I suck with words today, but I got that done. We talked about my travel plans for this year and early next year and kind of going into the new year. My plans and goals are, again, to just spend as much time with my family as possible. But 2, get back into reading more. I am an English major. I taught English for 13 years. There's nothing I love more than getting into a good book. I like all kinds of genres, but romantasy is definitely my favorite. Super cliche, I know, but I like what I like. No apologizing for that. This year, I read Quicksilver. That has been on my TBR for the longest time. And currently, I'm trying to get through Brimstone. And again, having 4 kids and working full time and my daughter being in competitive soccer and, having 2 kids basically under 1, essentially, I don't have a ton of time. So I try to fit it in when I can. But this is kind of something that I love to do. Reading is great for my soul and it kind of just is my own little escape from my world. So, I plan on finishing Brimstone. And then after that, I'm going to get into the Rift Born series. I started that when I went to Asheville with Jordan, when we were at the Omni Resort and the spa day. There's no technology allowed. So she actually bought that book for me for my birthday for us to read. So I actually started that, and it's very good, very promising so far. So I'm going to get into that series after I read, the Quicksilver and Brimstone books. So, that's the next series, but like, hot dog, my TBR cannot be any bigger. And I don't know about you guys, but it's so hard because you read and you kind of come across these books that you want to read, but there's only so much time in the day. So this year I plan on just immersing myself in reading when I can fit it in as just kind of time for myself after work or when I'm going to bed. 30 minutes here and there, I think definitely does wonders for my mental health. And another thing I want to do this year is junk journaling. I don't know if you guys are into this, but I'm obsessed. Sometimes finding or remembering rather to like pick up all of these things from trips or from, moments throughout your day. Like I struggle to remember sometimes. But my best friend got me this like really big agenda, which I thought was genius. Okay. So hear me out. This is totally her idea. So all like credit goes to her. But she got me this big agenda. This is a happy planner. And I'm a sucker for an agenda. Like I'm a former teacher. There is nothing more than I like to be organized and to have my day, kind of set on pen and paper. I do have my calendar on my phone that I use too, but I just love a good planner too. But what she kind of, thought about and, I guess, again, just a genius thing to do is to have an agenda as a junk journal as a way to start. So I don't know, again, like for me, sometimes my brain is so scattered and I don't know where to start. I have all of the junk to put in my journals from like our trip to Japan a year ago. And I have junk from Disney trips like throughout the years, and I haven't done anything with it. And I think a part of me can kind of feel a little overwhelmed with like where to start. But knowing that it's January, I think that this was a really cool idea because what we are doing is going to the tab of January. So, the overview calendar, which looks like this, right? So 2 pages where it shows the whole month and it breaks it down like that. But using, your junk to create like a spread just on that sheet alone, which is freaking genius. I am obsessed with how this came out. This is all of the stuff that I saved from our trip to Asheville. So that was the biggest thing that, I'm doing in January. There's some other things that I want to add on here. There's not a lot of room left, but between some receipts and our hotel card, some pictures. I think I kind of took a koozie. What is that called? Is that a koozie? The thing that you put drinks on? Oh my gosh, I'm tired. I need more coffee. Some stickers, just everything that, I kind of put to the side. I just put on this page, which I'm obsessed with how it came out. But I plan on doing the same thing in February. So after my Disney trip, I'm going to put like pictures of, my experiences and some receipts and all the things that I kind of hold to the side on this specific page. And I'm going to do the same thing for every month. And so when the year is over, you just kind of have a spread for every month and what you did. And it kind of becomes more of a memento instead of something that you just throw away at the end of the year. So I felt like this was a really cool idea to start the new year with. So between reading and junk journaling, I have my hands full on things that I can do to keep me happy throughout the year and to keep my mental sanity in place. So all of that to say is I'm super excited for 2026, all of the memories, all of the things. I'm super hopeful that this year is going to be amazing. And I could not be more thankful for absolutely everything that has happened within the past year. So hopefully you guys understand like where I was in the trenches of being super pregnant. And now that all of that is kind of put behind me, I want to be more present. I want to post more of my life as a mom of four, someone in my upper 30s. But whether you're in your 20s or your 30s or 40s or whatever age you are, I think we could find relatability within each other. And hopefully I can kind of give you guys a little reprieve from the craziness of what's going on in the world today. And we can find friendship on this platform. I love, like, sometimes I struggle meeting new friends as a mom who's just like really focused on her kids. But I'd love to meet new friends, whether they're in my city or whether they're in a different state or just solely online. There are some like my best friends who I've like yet to meet who I've met on Instagram or TikTok. And it's crazy what this platform and what social media can do. I think sometimes we think of social media as kind of a sucky place, and sometimes it can be, but it could also be really cool too. So anyways, all of that put aside, I have a couple of unboxings I want to do with you guys just to kind of finalize and end the video. And I'm excited to open them, and I want you to open them with me. Okay, so I know that this isn't like monumental or crazy, but I have a couple pin boxes that I want to open with you guys. This is something that I really started getting into when I got pregnant, and I had a couple Disney trips with my friends, one for like my gender reveal with them, and then I think I went again in the summer with the kids, but I was so pregnant, and this is like something that I really never got into before, but I get into when I was pregnant because it gave me something to do in the parks that was super fun. I don't know why I didn't do this sooner. I'm actually kind of mad at myself, but also my wallet isn't mad because pinning can be freaking pricey. I am not gonna lie. Buying pins, especially collections or blind bags, like it can get up there in price. So anyways, I'm actually going to kind of keep this going because now that I've started collecting pins, I don't think I can stop. So I did a box lunch order, I don't know, maybe a week and a half ago. There was this like really cute sweater, which I already opened. Sorry. But it was a really cute Valentine's sweater that I'm going to bring to the parks with me in February. But I haven't opened the pins yet because I wanted to save that for this video. So they're Loungefly pins, I believe. I don't know if they're Loungefly or not, actually. But anyways, they're the mystery pin set, the Disney Princess luggage pin set. Again, as an avid traveler, I saw these. I was like, oh my gosh, I need them. I don't have any of these yet. So I bought a couple boxes because they had a, like, I think it was like a BOGO sale or something. So I bought 2 boxes that I'm going to open now. So my favorite princesses from this collection, I would say Rapunzel for sure. She's like my absolute favorite. And I love Mulan, Jasmine. I freaking love them all. I'm not going to be disappointed with any one of these. So here we go. I just hope I don't get duplicates. That's the worst. All right. So I'm going to have you guys look first. Yay! I got Rapunzel. Oh my gosh. Rapunzel. I'm so excited for the live action. Rapunzel's like my comfort movie. I could watch that movie over and over and over and over again and not get tired of it. Ellie is actually liking Rapunzel a lot these days too, which makes me super happy. But I am obsessed. I love it. It's so cute. All right, so I got Rapunzel. Let's see what the second one is. The anticipation, like it's like a thrill. When you open these packs, you don't know what's inside. Like I live for it. My kids love it too. It's kind of addicting. All right, let's see what the second pack is. I'm gonna have you guys look first. Yes, I got freaking Mulan. The two that I really wanted. The pin gods are with me today, guys. Rapunzel and Mulan. I am obsessed with these. I'm going to add them to my pin board as soon as possible. I'm not going to trade these, I don't think. But now I'm just going to need to buy some more boxes so I can finish the set. You know, that's the problem. Once you kind of start a collection, it's just kind of, it's hard to stop. So I'm obsessed with these pins. All right, and last but not least, before I say goodbye for this video, I'm going to unpack my new Wonder Studio shirt that was part of their New Year collection, and I am a sucker for their Wonder Studio. Anytime they come out with anything, I am just obsessed. I don't have scissors, so just kind of go into it. But I have so many of their t-shirts. They are absolutely amazing. Their designs are incredible. People on TikTok and, you know, Etsy, they try to replicate their designs. They're one of a kind. And it makes me so mad because they truly are awesome and they don't deserve that. But when I saw this tee, I flipped out and I had to buy it. How cute is that? Park Days. A little teddy. I know the teddy is like super big, like Ralph Lauren. And I guess any teddy bear these days are super in and popular, but I'm just obsessed. Kind of looks like Duffy a little. But I am definitely going to bring this t-shirt. I get a 2X because I just love being comfortable. But I am obsessed. It says fueled by coffee and magic. I cannot wait to wear this on my next Disney trip. Anyways, thank you guys so much for joining me today. And if you are still here at the end of the video, I love you. I'm so thankful that you want to be a part of my life and my journey. And until the next time, bye.